Hey everybody, so welcome to another episode of TR's Corner. For today's story that I want to share with you, I want to talk about the time where I actually didn't see the film Small Soldiers until it went to VHS. Originally happened, and this is basically today's story. My family and I were originally going to see it in the theaters. We went all the way over to this movie theater that we were going to see the film at. And, at the time, the internet wasn't too big. Basically, if you wanted to look up showtimes, you'd have to call that theater or you had to, look it up in a newspaper or, because at the time, internet was around, but it wasn't like a huge, huge thing that everybody used quite yet. So, movie times at this time, this is probably like the mid to late 90s, I would say. Either found out through a newspaper or through calling the theater that you were about to head out to. So, we really wanted to go to this theater that, was really old. It's actually not in business anymore either. Um, for those who live in the Madison, Wisconsin area, it's over by the West Town Mall. It used to be over by that area. Like I said, it's completely torn down. I think it's actually a completely new business now. But at the time, you could definitely tell. Even at this time, we were seeing it at the theater that the theater was kind of on its way out. We only had like two or three employees running the place when we got there. One for concessions, one for the ticketing, and possibly one working the actual screenings up in the room above. And so it was a really, really small theater. It was almost kind of claustrophobic from what I remember. And I was a little kid at the time, so that's kind of saying a lot if it's a claustrophobic theater and even a little kid walking in feels a little tight walking into the place. So we get into the theater. Everything's going well. I think even my mom or my dad maybe got some popcorn or something. Like I said, we were seeing the film Small Soldiers, and the trailers were starting up. I think it was a Mountain Dew commercial, and then bam, the screen went completely black. No audio, no sound was coming in. We went out to get somebody who worked at the theater and be like, "Hey, this movie's not working. The trailers aren't. They just kind of stopped, and nothing's going on." Or actually, it was a commercial. They didn't even show the trailers yet. So they went back up to the thing. They tried to fix whatever was going on. For a little bit, it was going well for a little bit. They showed the trailers, they showed the commercials. A little bit of the movie was going even. And I would say about 15, 20 minutes into the movie, bam, black screen. Nothing happening, no audio, no video, no nothing. So we went back out and like, hey, this movie kind of stopped on us. Can you put the movie back on? So the guy was kind of frustrated. I remember he's like, okay, I'll fix it. So he went up and fixed the stupid thing. Now keep in mind, we all paid for our tickets. We all paid for concessions. We were all ready to watch this movie, and it blacked out for the second time now. So the movie starts up again, and then 15, 20 minutes later, right after we stopped, right after it blacked out in front of us for the second time, bam, black screen, no video, no audio again. So my dad and my mom were so frustrated at this point that we actually left the theater. We left the theater. We didn't care. We tried to get our money back. They wouldn't give us our money back. We just completely left. So I ended up seeing the film on VHS several months later because even DVD wasn't even around back then, I don't think. And even I was kind of happy that I waited to then because looking back on it, and even back when I first saw it, I mean, it really wasn't that great of a movie. Like I personally haven't seen it on Blu-ray yet or anything like that, so that's kind of a sign that kind of maybe didn't do so well. Um, yeah, it's definitely a film where I remember liking it much more as a kid than I do in later years. But either way, just the fact that we went to this theater, we paid money, we paid for concessions, and we had to remind the people who were running the theater like two or three times that it blacked out, and yet we didn't even see the whole movie that we paid for. I think it's pretty ridiculous. And so even to this day, that's the one and only film where I can honestly say we weren't able to see the whole thing simply because the movie itself wasn't even working. Um, so that's my story, you guys. Hope to see you here for another episode of TR's Corner or for a future video, whether it's a movie review or something else that I post after this one. Or if you're going to watch something previously, feel free to watch those too. So I will see you guys here for a future video.